Hello class, this is your teacher Mr. McDougall with your next tutorial for our classroom. We are still in the getting started and I would like to get to know you a little bit better by having you create an intro post about yourself. We're going to do a square Instagram post and it's going to be a little avatar profile of you generating an image of yourself and introducing yourself to me and our classroom. And don't worry if you're worried about jumping into this stuff automatically, even though we just got started. This image is completely AI generated, and that's what you're going to do the same thing for me. So you're just going to learn how to describe an image of yourself and have AI do the rest. So let's get to that. This is going to be done in Adobe Express, which is one of the websites I had you bookmark in the setting up the computer phase, which is this one right here. So let's go to a new tab, go to our Adobe Express, which we bookmarked. If you did not bookmark it, make sure you go back to your ClassLink. Make sure you're signed into ClassLink. Go to your Adobe Creative Cloud page and that you're fully signed in. We did this at the very beginning, but if you're not able to do it, make sure you do it that way. Sign in through your school Google and go to Adobe Express right here. You'll see it in various options. You might see it right here. If you go back to the home page, you'll see it right here. It's this rainbow A icon that says Adobe Express. So click on that, or if you bookmarked it, go right here. But that'll take you to this home page. So we talked about it. We haven't really got to use it yet, but let me show you how you're going to create your post. This is a really cool, quick, and easy profile website to get started with a few basic things. It's a lot like Canva. If you've used Canva, it's very similar. You can create a quick little poster or a quick video or a Instagram post or a QR code or a YouTube thumbnail. There's lots of ways we can do a quick and easy version, which is why I like to do it for getting set up. So let's do our introductory post. Let's go over to this big plus button right here. It's big purple plus. Click on that. And it has a bunch of suggested file types. And one of the top ones is this square 1:1 right here. So 1:1 ratio means the length and the width are the same size, making a square. So click on that. It will create this square blank post. The very first thing I want you to do is give it a name. So right now it's always the untitled version. Click over here where it says untitled. Select all that, delete it, and just give it your name. So McDougall, you can put your first name, and then put intro post. So now it will save, and this website will auto save as well. So as you're editing, you can work on this online on a Chromebook, and everything will automatically save. If I back out, it will go back to where it was. All right, so what we are going to do is use this post and start generating our introduction. So how we're going to do that is we're going to come over here to Media, click on Media, and then we're going to do Generate Image right here. Click Generate Image, and let's just keep it as a square. So click on the square option again. It will put a square right in the middle. We can start by making it big so we get a better view of it, but it's not going to take up the entire thing. We just want it to start this way so we can get a good view. And now that we're generating this image, we're going to come right over here. Describe what you would like to see. So in this text box is where you're going to start describing yourself. So we're going to get elaborate with this, but let's start off pretty simple. Start with just what you look like, what your skin color is, what your hair looks like, what clothes you're wearing, things like that. So let me just show you an example and then you can get started. I'm going to put male, teacher, tall, short brown hair, and beard. Let's just start with that, see what happens. I'm going to hit enter or return, and it'll take a second. It'll start generating. And it's going to generate an image based on whatever I type. So as I change my type, it will change the image. So there you go. Generated teacher with short brown hair and a beard. Not too bad. You can see there's quite a bit of variety. It's kind of generic. It went into this kind of cartoony version. You can always click generate more right here. And we'll do a few more sets until it reaches a limit. And then you'll have to retype some stuff. But you can see how it's starting out. Not too bad. I wasn't super specific, so they all kind of look the same. I wasn't specific about my ethnicity, so if you're not specific about that, it will just generate a bunch of random ones. I put teacher, so it put a chalkboard in the background. And again, all of these are a little bit different. Let's be a little bit more specific. Let's put brown hair, let's see, and then I'm going to put my clothes. Wearing a white t-shirt and blue jeans. And let's see, I'm going to add that and hit enter. Now that I've added jeans, it will probably show my legs. So it started with this kind of chest high version, but as I start to add to it, you're going to notice it's going to get more elaborate now. So now that I've done that, it's zoomed out a little bit. You can see that I have jeans on, something like that. One thing you'll also often notice is that hands will usually be in the pocket. It'll just do this hands straight down or hands in the pocket version. That's because the AI is not that great with hands and feet a lot of the times. So as you're typing this, you might notice that you might have a couple extra fingers or your foot's bending the wrong direction. So that just happens sometimes. You can see all of these same things. They just have their hands in their pockets. Pretty generic. So I don't want you to have it be super generic like that. We're going to add some more stuff. I want you to add these specific details right here. So again, gender, height, hair color, eye color, all that stuff, clothing. And really important, I want you to do a specific pose right here, a fun specific pose, holding an important object to you, and also describe what the background looks like. So let's try that out right now. Let's say this. Let's say jumping in the air, so that would be my pose, holding a camera, so there's my object, in a sunny urban background. Let's type in something like that and see what happens. So now I've added a lot more detail. I'm going to do a full pose. I've told it what background I want. Let's see how it generates that. There you go, right there. Thumbs up, jumping in the air. You also might get this, as I mentioned, you might get some weird stuff with your hands or feet or fingers. Sometimes the object might be merged to your body, because this, again, is just randomly generating with the AI. So you never know what you're going to get. Some of these might be strange, but you'll just have to tweak your sentences. So if I don't like it, I'll just have to come up here and maybe reword some of this. Just like when you're searching in Google, you don't always get the results you want. That one's pretty cool. That one's got there. Look at this guy's got an extra foot right here. So that just happens sometimes. But you can see how the background looks good. We got the cool urban background. We got the jumping in the air. I'm digging these a little bit. That guy doesn't have a camera though, so let's not use that one. I kind of like this one. This one's pretty cool. So what I want you to do is you're actually going to make 4 potential ones. We'll settle on one, but I want you to create 4 options for yourself. So let's do a couple more options. So this one is a good potential option. I'm just going to shrink this for a second and leave it off to the side because I like it as a maybe, but let's make some more. So if I click away, it'll come back to the main page and I could do generate image. If I want to keep working on this one, I would just click back on it again and go back to generate image, and now I can continue typing on this one. But if I want to start over, I need to click away over here to refresh and then just do generate image again and do another square. So let's do a second one. So this is a fun time where you can enjoy maybe some fantastical elements, maybe something about yourself that you really would like to describe in your personality. It doesn't have to be super realistic. So let's try this. Let's say tall, male, short, brown hair and beard. So I like to keep that because that I do like about myself. I like my hair. But let's add something else. Let's say wearing a rainbow, no, not rainbow, rainbow shirt and playing a guitar in a forest. So I've added the object in the background. The other thing I want you to play around with, you'll see in the description right here, the last thing, is an overall art style. So that could be the way you want to look. And art style can mean a lot of things. Like you can make yourself maybe look like an action figure or a G.I. Joe or in the style of like an old cartoon. Maybe I want to say in the style of anime. Let's say that. So you can kind of think of your art styles or your cartoon styles or graphic novel. Maybe you want to be like a graphic novel superhero from a comic book. Maybe that's something you want to try, but give that a shot. So now I typed that I want to be a rainbow guitar playing guy in a forest as an anime character. Look at that. That's looking pretty good. There's me as a rainbow forest anime player. That actually looks really good. I think I might keep that one. That's another good one right there. Let's do one more. So click away, generate image. And I want you to play around, take your time. If you're not getting the results that you want, retype it in, try again. We're going to do a bunch. I'm just going through this a little fast so you can see the different options. But again, let's do one more. Maybe let's add some fantasy to it. Male, long, rainbow beard. I'm going to have a long rainbow beard in this one because why not? Wearing dragon armor and holding a lightsaber. Let's see what happens with this. Maybe it adds kind of a fantasy element. Maybe it's the version of you you've always wanted to be. Maybe you want a rainbow mohawk, or maybe you want angel wings or something like that. You can add those here. So maybe that looks more like me. I don't know. Maybe I got the sword coming out of my shoulder like this guy. You never know. So what you'll notice is I typed in lightsaber, but it didn't give me that specifically. It just gave me like a light sword. And you'll notice that too as you start to type a few things in. There's a lot of things that won't come up specifically because of trademark issues. So I typed in lightsaber and it gave me this generic light sword. Ooh, I like the crown of that guy. But it's not going to give me an actual lightsaber because that's trademarked by Lucasfilms and Star Wars. If you try to type in a trademark character, like you say, give me a Mickey Mouse bag or a Pikachu lunchbox or a Hello Kitty backpack, that stuff won't come up because those characters have copyright. So you won't see anything like that. It's going to be more generic stuff, kind of like this. Maybe you want something, maybe I kind of like this guy. Maybe this is the version of myself I've always wanted to see, and I'm going to keep that one. So give yourself at least 4. I only have 3 right now, but I'll let you make a 4th one on your own. And then you're just going to pick the one that best represents you. So figure out which one you feel represents you and your personality the most. I don't know, I kind of like the guitar. I'm kind of torn. But pick one that you want. Let's see. Maybe I'm going to go with the sword guy. We'll see. So delete these other ones and click on this one and trash. And trash. Just keep the one you want to work with. You can make it pretty big, but we're also going to leave room for a couple other things. We don't want it to take up the entire square. So you could put it somewhere where you want to fit, maybe in the corner, maybe right there, maybe kind of in the middle. It's completely up to you, but leave room because we're going to add some text as well. So these are the other things you need to do. After you've chosen your avatar, you need to add these certain things. You need a big title text with your full name and then a text box of a short paragraph introducing yourself. Tell me about yourself and your hobbies and why you chose the avatar. What did you use to describe yourself? So after you've done that, you're mostly going to hang out in these 2 areas right here under the text and elements. So text, again, there's lots of templates. You don't always have to start from scratch. But you can see here, there's a couple of different ones. If I scroll down, buttons, maybe I want to go with these. Here's some signs, something like that. Maybe I want to go with this one. I can click this one and now it's on here. Maybe this is where I want to put my name. I can click over here and type and just play around with dragging the size, changing the color. Let's say Mr. McDougall. I can expand it a little bit more, maybe like that. Click and drag, move it around. Maybe I don't want it to be black. I can click over here. So if I click on this, there's settings. I can change the font, change the color, all kinds of stuff. Let's see, that looks good. I like that. View all. Again, lots of ways you can play around with it. Play around with each one and just mess around. And then after you add your name, I want you to add one that has a paragraph telling me about yourself. So you come down here to paragraphs, you can click view all. There's a whole bunch of these paragraph ones. Pick the one that you like the most, and you're just going to write a short paragraph introducing yourself. Maybe this one right here. Maybe you want to do one like that, and you can say about me, or whatever you would like to put if you go with this one. And this one, we're just going to tell me what's going on. You can see from my example right here, I like to post examples talking about myself. Hi, I'm your teacher. A little bit about me. I'm a photographer, and I enjoy creating content. I like to play video games and relax. And I also like to play my guitar, which is why I wrote it down right here. I don't play it enough, but I want to play it again. I really like playing guitar, which is why I put it here. So in this, you could talk about your hobbies and your interests and tell me what inspired you to write this. I could write that I like having a beard and I really like sword battles and fantasy elements, as you can obviously tell. So if you wrote something, maybe you have a picture of you holding your cat. Tell me about your cat. What's their name? What is it about them? Why do you like them so much? Or why did you put that you want to be a soccer player or an esports athlete or whatever it is? Write about that right here. Just give me a fun little intro. I would like to get to know you a little bit better. And then after that, last couple things I want you to add. I want you to change the background, add 3 different kinds of shapes or icons, and then some kind of overlay to the entire thing. So if we go back to elements again, you can come back here. There's lots of different kinds of elements. You can scroll down. There's a whole bunch of things. So we just did the text to create these. The other ones I mentioned, you'll find all of that in elements. You can search specific things. There's a bunch right here. I can scroll through these backgrounds. Maybe if I click this, it changes the background of the entire thing. So maybe I want to go with something like that, or this, or a black background, or something super dark, something very cool. You can add some elements. Like I can add these smiley faces, or maybe this little corner. Here's some shapes. Maybe I want to add that. Everything I click on will get added right there. maybe there. And again, you can change the color. Maybe I don't like gray. Maybe I want to go with blue. Now I've changed it to blue. So see what you can do over here. Very cool stuff. If you change the background in the text, make sure that you change the color so I can read it, because my text was black and my background is black. So now I can't read this stuff. So I might need to change my background or change the color of my text. If I go back to my text, maybe I want to go with white. So now I've changed it to white, and now I can actually read it again. So you may have to mess around with these things and change the color and stuff, because I want to be able to read whatever your words are. So elements, shapes, icons, design, throw all that stuff in there. Back to elements and all. Excellent. And then go to backgrounds. Let's go to design assets. So go to design assets as the very last thing. And I want you to come down here. You can play with these as well, these other elements and brushes, but I want you to come over here to overlay. Overlay is a thing that goes over on top of the entire image. So it's kind of like a little glare. If I click this one, it has this cool kind of sunbeam. So an overlay is kind of like a see-through pattern that just kind of adds a little glow to it. So maybe I want to add that. Or maybe I don't want it exactly like that. Maybe I want to rotate it so it's not at the top. Maybe put it down there at the bottom. That's pretty cool. But just play around. This whole lesson, this whole classwork is just about playing around and experimenting. And you can change the layer order over here too. If I click here, I can move this to the top so it's above the overlay or above the shape. Change the order of it by moving it around on this side until you've ended up with all of those things that I just mentioned. 3 kinds of shapes, icons, play around, add an overlay, change the background, whatever you want to do until you make something cool that best represents you and your vibe and your art style. Okay? But to turn it in, the way you're going to turn it in, I know you'll see a big turn in button, but you're not going to click on that. I want you to download this as a JPEG and attach that. So you're going to click on this download button right here, this big arrow pointing down, click that. And this will pop up. Yours will probably pop up on the right side, but this will pop up. And we're going to change it from PNG to, if it'll click. Let's try one more time. There we go. You're going to click on PNG and you're going to change yours to JPEG right here, best for small images. Click JPEG, JPG, and then click download. It'll download it to your downloads folder, which you'll be able to see in your downloads folder if you open your Finder window. So if I open my Finder window and I go to downloads, here it is right here. Here is my JPEG intro post. So first let's save this to our Google Drive and then we can turn it in. So let's open a second one. Remember, to open a second window, you're going to right click on the Finder face, right click with your middle finger, new Finder window. So now we have 2. You can click this and drag it out of the way like that. Let's go to our Google Drive, the My Drive, and you're going to find your Intro to Graphics folder. And then you will create a new folder. So Intro to Graphics, right click, new folder. This one is called U103 My Intro Post. So now this is backed up into our drive so we can save our picture. So come over here, click your picture from your downloads folder and move it into that folder you just made right there. Yes, I want to save it to my drive. But now it's backed up in your Google Drive. So now you can attach it or turn it in no matter what computer you're on. So I can see here, here's my post, and that's what you will turn in. So if you go back to the assignment right here on your side, you'll see this option to add or create a file. So click add or create a file and then attach this thing that you just downloaded. And remember, this autosave, so if you're not able to finish it now, you can always click the home page and go back. But every project you work on will be saved down here. So I could see it's right here, click on it, and I could jump back in exactly where I left off. Okay? So once you've downloaded and turned in that JPEG, that will be complete. Thank you for letting me get to know you. I'm very excited to see what kind of AI avatar you have created. Okay? So have fun and let me know if you have any questions.